Well, guys, let me take a sip of drink real quick. Look, I'm still completely sober, so let's talk about it. Um, Listen, first time we've hit triple digits without me saying a word yet. Well, I guess we talked about it a little bit, but um, listen, you know that meme of like when it's my birthday or when it's my favorite team that loses. Um, that is that is certainly the case. Look, we'll talk about the game more fully, I guess, today when we do an actual podcast. But I said we'd go live if we lost, and so here we are going live. I don't know, whatever. Um, I will address this quickly and then I move on. I think he was in. I absolutely think he was in. It's a shame that there aren't more camera angles. But I do think he was in, right? So I'll say that, and then we'll complain about the ACC tomorrow because let's just be honest, you should not need a miracle finish from a true freshman quarterback on the road as an 18.5-point favorite against Stanford, right? So we can agree that the refs sucked and that he was probably in. Like, I don't know what you're looking at. I thought he was in live before we even saw the replays. But I think the ref on the near sideline, obviously, I think Deuce or somebody was there blocking and couldn't see through him. So, I mean, it happens. But, yeah, I thought he was in. All right, all that said, you got to fire Mike. Like, that's just the end of the road. I don't care about the refs. I don't care about who's hurt, and I don't care about this, that. None of it. I don't care about any of it. Mike Norvell seems like in every interaction I've ever had with him, a great person. He has to go. I don't care. We like Bobby and we loved Bobby because he was a great person too, but he won games, right? That's why people get with Jimbo, hit or miss on me. I don't know, but you win games. That's all that matters. Brian Kelly's not a good guy, and they blew it today against Vandy, but he wins games, and so that's all that matters. Mike's got to go, and that's the end of the story, right? I could end it now. I won't, but we could just end the show now. Hey, we took 2 minutes to tell you guys Mike's got to go. That's the end of the show. Just an absolute embarrassment, and I know that it's frustrating. Oh, you got close. I don't even know how many of you wanted to win there at the end. It was exciting. The throw up to Danzy, you get the pass interference. It was exciting at the end, for sure. Should not have been exciting at the end against Stanford. Like, what the hell are you doing? Offensively, you started that. They were bad on and they got close at the end. Congratulations. Once again, you got close. You were close against Virginia. You're still climbing. You were close against Miami. You had a chance if you get a miracle onside kickback that God knows your special teams coach is complete trash. You were congratulations. You were close against Pitt. You had a chance again if you could have gotten an onside kick. And congratulations for being close against the worst ACC team that exists. Well, you know what? I'm not even going to say that anymore. You're the worst ACC team that exists. I think North Carolina would beat you. I think Boston College would beat you. Not necessarily that those teams would beat you, but you're just so bad. Florida State will find a way under Mike Norvell. Florida State will find a way to lose every game. They will. I've got no confidence they beat Wake in 2 weeks. I don't think they go into Clemson and win. I don't care if Clemson plays their fourth string quarterback. They ain't beaten UF. Do you think they beat Virginia Tech or NC State? All of those teams would wax Stanford. And after everything that's happened, after the last 3 weeks, and you get punched in the mouth, and you talk about, well, we're going to get it fixed, and we're going to keep climbing, and we keep doing that stupid ass hashtag. Keep climbing it. Let me pull up the end of the. Let me pull up the FSU football tweet. We're just we don't really script these out when they're just kind of a live reaction. But I do wonder, did FSU tweet Yeah, why do you keep, I'm going to quote it. Listen, why do you keep saying keep? Why do you keep climbing on these? If there's a silent B in climbing for those that don't know. Clearly I just missed that. We're not climbing, man. We're complete trash. Under this staff, we are complete trash. Offensively, you came in tonight. Some things I want to put out, and then I'll go through some comments. If you have a super chat, I'll get to that first. Maybe we'll do a call. Maybe we'll open this up. Maybe we'll do a call in. Yeah, maybe that's what we'll do. I'm going to get in trouble for being up and doing this at 2:30 in the morning, but whatever. You came in offensively, and on your first 5 drives against effing Stanford, you had 3 points. 3 and out to start the game. A missed field goal. You had a penalty on that. You had a penalty to open the damn game. 15 minutes left on the clock, and you have a delay of game penalty. 100% of the time, you don't even call a play there. You're not huddling up. You know the play because you've worked on it all week. It's a scripted drive. And you have a delay of game to start the game. As soon as that happened, I thought, going to be one of those nights. Now, I did think Florida State would pull out the win. For a lot of this game, I thought they'll pull out the win one or the other. But no, they have no mental toughness. They have terrible leadership. Again, like Mike personally, terrible leadership from the top down. And Alfred's got to make a change. Short of texting him tonight, which he's been tagged in 70,000 tweets, he knows what the fan base thinks. I don't know how much more clear it needs to be that he's got to make a change. It should probably happen tomorrow. Today. It should probably happen when they get back to Tallahassee. I remember when he fired Mike Martin Jr., that was like the day after they got back from the regional that he lost in his last year. It's got to happen. I don't care what the buyout is. I don't care who else they got to fire. I don't care what sports they got to eliminate at Florida State. Take that money and fire Mike Norvell. It's got to be done. 5 drives to start the game. Punt, missed field goal, penalty on that pushed it back further. They decided to still kick after the first one was missed and blocked. You did get a field goal. Congratulations, 3 points against Stanford in the first quarter. And then punt. Actually, no, I'm sorry. The field goal, I think, happened in the second quarter. 5 drives, 3 points. Tommy with a nice effort on the touchdown. Offensively, they were a complete mess. Everything was just jump ball, jump ball, jump ball, jump ball. Why did we not run against Stanford? Like, they had a lead for the whole game, but it wasn't like insurmountable. They weren't up 20. It wasn't like the Miami game or the Virginia game where you had to pass late. Why did we not run the ball? Something that when we did do seemed pretty effective. Jump ball over and over and over again. Cut the lead to 7, under 10 minutes to go. Defensively, complete trash. You gave up 13 points to Stanford in the first half. Stanford had not led in a game all year. And you gave up 13 points in the first half. Excuse me. A 94-yard drive with the backup quarterback and running back in against this Tony White defense. Listen, I hate to be petty on this. Probably pretty good that he's also tanking his stock for that UCLA job. Because what is this defense doing? 94 yards to the backup quarterback and running back. You get the ball back. They get the ball on their own 6-yard line, and that's what we get. A 94-yard drive with the backup quarterback and running back and some offensive linemen out too. The hard count on 4th and inches where Lions jumps off sides, they're just weak mentally. I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm not saying that you should cuss at them on social media. They're just weak mentally. Bad offensively, bad defensively, bad on special teams. There were at least 4 penalties on special teams that you had tonight. 7 of them, you lost the game by 7. 7 of them given up because Edwin Joseph decided to jump off sides on a missed field goal. And then ironically, he's the DB that gives up the touchdown on that same drive. You lost the game by 7. Had you not done that, you could have kicked a field goal at the end. I'm so just perplexed by how you could be so bad in all three phases of football and underprepared, because they were very underprepared to go play. So it's on the staff and it's on the team. But against Stanford, that really shouldn't matter. You should still just push them around because they're Stanford. Florida State gave up a 94-yard drive to a backup quarterback and a backup running back and an offensive line that's banged up too, to the 106th best offense in the country. That's absurd. They scored one touchdown against the 100th best defense in the country in Stanford. One touchdown all night. Now, I think they did get on that second one. Still not enough. Still not close to enough. I think what happened with this team, and prayers up for Tommy. Obviously, that play was super dirty. And again, it's not a full game recap. So I'm just kind of ranting and pissed at this point. But before the targeting or whatever that took him out, I think what happened with this team is Tommy's health made Gus's gimmicks not really worth anything, because his explosivity that he was able to get off at times in the Bama game made this offense really hard to guard against. And you can just tell, and again, I'm not counting when he went out of the game, but before he took the hit, he doesn't move the same way. He doesn't move the same way that he did, and he's just not the same. And so Gus's tricks and gimmicks don't work with a guy that can't move. They don't work if the threat of Tommy's legs aren't a big deal. Holdings, false starts, illegal procedures, they're undisciplined. I think their effort was trash. They got pushed around. Why is Stanford falling forward on every single rushing play for 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 yards a play? Like, this wasn't the vaunted Miami rushing attack that the whole country was scared of before Friday night against Louisville. This was Stanford. And so, end of the day, I mean, honestly, that's all the notes I took from the game. Or the only thoughts I had is you were terrible on offense, you were terrible on defense, and you were terrible on special teams. Other than that, you played pretty well. Other than the three phases of the game, I thought they played great. Tommy's effort can't go unnoticed. I think he's pretty banged up, pretty hobbled, but he tries. He's not great. He missed Danzy on a wide open touchdown. He threw the ball way over guys' heads way too much. Danzy walks in for a touchdown on that second to last drive right before Tommy got hurt. If you hit him, right? But you knew what you were getting when you signed up, right? You didn't sign him for his arm, right? You signed him for his legs, and you hope that he could make enough passes that would matter. They just look like they sleptwalked through this thing. And I get it. They flew out yesterday. They are, I guess, Friday now. We're on to Sunday. But man, they felt like they just sleptwalked. I think they thought like, oh, well, it is just Stanford. We'll be fine. And when their backup quarterback, if there was ever an indictment on Mike Norvell, it's the fact that a backup quarterback could come in and beat you. Like, I truly thought this team was going to lose to the starter. But when the backup came in, I thought, well, this will save Mike's job. This will be what gets Mike through the bye week. And they'll go play Wake, and maybe they'll lose to Wake, and that'll be what ends the deal. No, they said, you know what? We'll take our backup, and we'll still lose. That is, I mean, I don't know how we got Tony White here. If he was so great, I don't know why other teams didn't go after him. But I've certainly, since that Bama game, haven't been very impressed. It's been pretty terrible to give up 20 points to Stanford. Yeah, that's freaking god awful. So, and a lot of that coming from the backup, especially the long drive, the 90. I don't know, unacceptable, inexcusable. You've got to make a change from the top. And I mean, Alfred's got to know that, right? Like, he can't. I mean, I wish Harlan was in here. I think Harlan tapped out and just went to bed. I don't really know how to run a poll on this, but I'd love to see what you guys' thoughts are. Like, I'm not sourced. I'm not telling you that I've talked with anybody. I literally walked out to the office from my couch and fired this thing up. But you got to think it happens, right? Even if it doesn't happen tomorrow, it's got to happen at some point through this year. This was the bridge too far. What we had said was, hey, every team that you've played so far that you've lost to, which it's been, 390 days or more since you've won an ACC game. Hey, well, at least every team you've played has made a bowl. This team is pathetic. This team had 2 wins coming in. One against San Jose State, a game they beat San Jose State by 1 and trailed by 10 at one point. Found a way to win that one. This team lost to Hawaii, and you're losing that game against a backup quarterback. And yeah, you almost had a miracle. You almost had a miracle finish against Stanford. It was the FSU Stanford game, not the Cal Stanford game. And this team, but are you even confident? Like, obviously, if they'd have scored there, ruled it a touchdown, because I do think they scored. I hope Mike would have gone for 2. I hope he would have understood and realized that, like, you've already got a kicker that's missed one. You've already needed a miracle to get back. Sperry has no awareness because he's a true freshman. It's not even on him. You got incredibly lucky with the Danzy long pass. Like, certainly he would have gone for 2 there. And maybe they'd have pulled it out. Maybe they'd have figured out a way to do it. But the fact that you needed that, you needed, what did Florida State need the most in this game was Stanford to have a few more camera angles. Like, that's what they needed. That would have been what would have saved the game. Or just a coach that ultimately was worth a damn and could get a win for you. And unfortunately, they're just not that. And I'm sure we'll get all the lectures this week if he's not fired about how we need to donate to NIL. And man, if we just had more money. Do you know what Stanford spends? If I see one tweet, and I don't care who says it, I don't care if Bobby comes back from the grave and says it. If I get one more tweet across my timeline about how we need to give more to NIL, and this is not about me. I know a lot of people with these renovations and with NIL and with booster memberships and the fact that they jacked up our season ticket prices and everything else. I know a lot of people that have given more this year than they've ever given. And I'm included in that. I had to upgrade. I didn't pay certainly what the people down at the bottom in those boxes paid, but I paid more this year than I've ever paid to FSU. So don't tell us that we need to give you more when you go on the road and you can't beat Stanford. You make a change, and then I think people will start to buy in again. They've got to make a change. Alfred has to do it. And I really think it needs to happen today. They need to get back on the plane, and we need to get a Pete Thamel tweet. And then we'll jump back on here live, and we'll talk about where we're going. I did a video on Friday of 10 coaching candidates. I don't even remember who I had in that, right? It was all the hot names. But you got to do something. Maybe you can get Franklin for cheap. Maybe you can find somebody else. I don't know. But you got to make a change. Dust off Odell's interim title. Give it to him for these last, 5 games, and get the hell done with 2025. We can do some call-ins if you guys want. There's no way that I can read through the, good Lord, 300 comments that are on here. I will quickly look through, and I'll read some super chats. But let's see. I'll throw this in the chat. Boy, I know this is going to get wild. Listen, if you're doing a call-in, what I would say is put your phone on Do Not Disturb. And also, it would really help if you're on some kind of Wi-Fi or just at least have good service. Also, I'm not putting your video on the screen, so you can literally just turn your camera off, and it does help the audio. Let's go through some comments real quick, and then we'll go on. Let's see. Gregory Campbell, tough loss today, but I'm sure Norvell will rally the troops and have those guys ready to play and win the next game. Just got a few loose ends to tie up. Gregory, bro, I would buy you a beer if you were anywhere close to me right now. Remember Jimbo used to say like inches away? That's what that feels like to me. Gregory, thank you, man, for the support. We only need 630,000 FSU fans to donate $100 to start for the buyout. Start the GoFundMe. Hey, we'll do a Double Fries No Slaw GoFundMe coming up soon. Thank you, Nick, for the comment. Bring Willie back. Fuller too. I'm over this team. Yeah, I mean it's. Listen, Norvell did some good things here. I'm talking in the past tense. I'm going to manifest this into existence, but. Yeah, this is much worse than what we've seen recently. Boxing Monster is much worse than where Willie was, right? It's not even close. Let's see here. Matt, can we please forgive Jimbo and run it back? Would he say yes? I think Jimbo would say yes if he was offered the job. Jimbo would be an upgrade over Mike Norvell, but so would this Diet Dr. Pepper can, right? So I'm not the biggest Jimbo fan of bringing him back. I do respect Jimbo a lot. I don't have any hard feelings at this point anymore. But I don't know that Jimbo coming back is going to be a realistic thing. I see you down there, Norris. I'll get you in just a sec. And then one more here from Des Capital, maybe D's Capital. Maybe, well, no, D's would have two E's. I wanted to say it. Fran Brown, James Franklin, or Jeff Brown. Jeff Brown went to Louisville. I cannot imagine that he will leave his alma mater to come here. But he might be the best coach in the ACC. So if there's any way you could convince him to, great. Fran Brown, would be a massive upgrade. Again, I think a lot of people would be a massive upgrade at this point. The message is lost and the support is lost. So, and then James Franklin, I think would be great. So appreciate you guys real quick. Let's do this. Let's get Norris in, see if this thing works. Norris, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Dude, I'm live at 3 a.m. almost.
Right.
After a 0-4 start to ACC play, man. I'm doing good. No, but really, I'm numb to it at this point. Whatever. Even if they'd have won this, I wasn't super happy. But how you doing?
So if you wake up tomorrow at 8 a.m. and you don't see a message on your phone that says Mike Norvell is gone, how are you going to feel?
I don't think it'll happen by 8, but if it doesn't happen by like 2 p.m., what I feel like they usually do is they usually do it right before the NFL games kick off. That's kind of a news dump thing.
To kind of brush it under the radar.
Yeah. You can never brush something this big off the radar, but if it doesn't happen by the time, I was going to say the Bucks, but they're on Monday night this week. If it doesn't happen by the time the NFL games kick off, I'm going to be a little annoyed because that's plenty of time for them to get back to Tallahassee and for them to get this done. What about you?
It's just got to happen at this point. Like I've been kind of like you in Richie's ballpark, where it's kind of been, I've been the biggest supporter of Mike Norvell from everything that I've seen from, ACC media days to in-person interviews to War Channel interviews to any type of content that I've seen. I've backed him up from day one. And it's hard to see where you're an 18.5-point favorite to just lose in that kind of sense, even though Sawchuk did get that ball across the line, and who knows what would have happened after that. But it's still just rough to see how this team has fallen from grace. And like what you're saying with undisciplined penalties from people jumping off sides when the whole stadium, if they closed their eyes, they knew that ball was not going to get snapped, right? Like it's just so blatantly obvious where a lot of things that just, you could tell like, on that fourth down, on the 35-yard line on their side of the field, that they're not going to snap the ball, right? It's just one of those things.
Even the announcers were saying, "Oh, they're not." Emmanuel Acho sucks as a color guy, but the play-by-play guy wasn't as bad, but the color analyst Acho is terrible. But anyway, he was even saying like they're not going to snap this. Like you just hold your water, like don't. And everybody in the stadium knew that. Like they weren't going to go for that fourth down and give us a short field. And what do, man? Jump off sides. That, and then the jumping off sides on the field goal, that cost you 7 points, man. So, I don't know, man.
We got lucky because the punt didn't end up mattering because they ended up punting it after that. So, but it was still, it's just a lot of undisciplined plays. So, I guess I have like one question for you.
Yeah.
Even though you did that, I saw you, I'm a big fan of the show. I watch a lot of the videos, try to catch the lives when I can. I usually watch them post. But top 3 head coaching candidates at this moment with not anybody else leaving or whatever you say, but like top 3 candidates right now, as everything stays through the end of the season, who would you name top 3 right now?
I would put James. So not in order, but I'm just going to give you 3. I'll give you one that I think would be a big splash. I'll give you one that's a group of 5, and I'll give you one that is a like kind of lateral-ish, still a step up, but like power 4. I think it's James Franklin, Rhett Lashley, and you can take your pick between. Okay, so I'll give you 4. I know that's cheating because you said 3. Alex Golish is more gettable. But if you could get Summerall at Tulane, I think he's more of a sure.
I was going to say that if you had a toss up between Summerall and Golish, who would you pick?
So Summerall would be the pick,
Yeah.
but I think he might go get an SEC job. I think Kentucky really wants him, and isn't he from
Yeah.
there? Like, so like, can you get him over Kentucky? I don't know. I would pick Summerall, but Golish I think is more attainable.
One thing I had, I guess, last question, because I know some people might be buzzing in. I had just from the ties with Mark Stoops. Is there any chance with how Kentucky's been going? Would you take Mark Stoops back in any capacity?
I would not. And the reason why, we've had Clay Fink do some film reviews for us. My gosh, I hope he doesn't have to do this one. We might just let him take the week off.
Yeah, don't make him do any extra work here.
Because the comments are coming in so fast, I did just put the call-in link back in so people can call in if they want to. I'll put it in the description real quick for people too. But Clay has talked about, because he's such a big Kentucky fan and follows them so closely, how he just kind of feels like they are kind of like Stoops is kind of broken post-divorce, which is sad. I'm not trying to make jokes about, like, I'm not, like that's not,
Yeah.
but just,
It was kind of like Jimbo post,
yeah, just
there.
Yeah, and he also hasn't. So I saw Clay. I tagged Clay, and because somebody asked this on Twitter the other day, and Clay said he also hasn't called plays in, like, I think he either said 5 or 10 years. So he has truly just kind of been like the CEO, and it hasn't worked super well recently. So it's not like you're even bringing in like an elite defensive coordinator that's like calling plays and then running the rest of it. So I'd probably avoid that. And I think, I mean, any coach you hire is going to be a risk, but I think it's less of a risk to just go get Golish or somebody like that.
I gotcha. All right. Well, that was all the questions I had. I appreciate you and Richie always for staying dedicated, even though when it's been rough.
Bro, let me tell you how little I wanted to do. You know what? No, I appreciate you for tuning in and continuing to watch and calling in tonight. But I did not want to do the preview show on Wednesday because I was like, oh, I don't want to preview a team we're going to kill anyway, because I don't want to be excited about where we're at right now. Like, going and beating Stanford's not exciting to us. Maybe I should have taken the preview more seriously. Maybe this is on me. So, but
it's definitely not on you being an 18.5 point favorite. I was kind of the same thing. I was going to kind of half watch it while I was doing something else, but then the score never went up for our side. So I was a lot more locked in than I wanted to be, but it's the way it goes sometimes.
Yep. It is what it is, man. We did our job, man. We showed up. I cheered until 2:30 in the morning, so don't blame me.
Exactly. We're kind of like the UK fan that called in on Tuesday, watching until 3 a.m. So it happens.
Yeah. Dude, I feel bad for that guy. Well, no, it's normal time for him now. It's 8 a.m. He should be good. Yanni, are you in here? Yanni should be in, so we'll see. Thanks, Norris. I appreciate you, buddy.
Appreciate it, TJ. Go Noles.
Go Noles. Josh, I see you down there. I'll get you in just a sec. Let me read a couple more of these chats that came in. Derek Johnson became a member. Thank you, Derek, for supporting the channel and supporting me being up at 3 a.m. and probably pissing some people off, but most people probably enjoy it, though. What else do we got here? Make the fullback position great again. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to nitpick every little thing, but that does remind me. Glenn says that on 3rd and 2, you're running the ball effectively. Why did we try that little stupid screen thing to Pittman? Obviously, Tommy is not the best thrower. I mean, if it works, sure, we're all saying great job, but just run the ball twice and get the first down. And maybe if you had a fullback, you could do that. So, Glenn, I'm in full support there. Kyle says, praying we get a live stream of Alfred and Norvell on the tarmac. He needs to get his own play ride home. Yeah, Lane Kiffin him. Zach says, we couldn't line Chroma up and pound 2 yards. We are a train wreck. Even going for it on 4th and 19 was insane. Why not punt? Horrible coaching. I didn't understand that at all. Even the play-by-play guys, the color analysts, were both saying, why are you doing this? Like, Tommy's hurt and you're going for it on 4th and 19. I don't know if Mike gets so far into his head or what. You know what I just noticed is this ACC kickoff thing that I had, not to get sidetracked, but it's got a picture of Marcus Freeman on the back of it on this ACC. I hate this conference so much, but yeah, I mean, who knows where we'll end up, but I'm certainly glad we're not anywhere but the ACC. We can't win an ACC game, let alone something else. But yeah, horrible coaching all night. And Zach, you're spot on. That was the highlight of the horrible coaching was, why are you going for it on 4th and 19 with him in? Punt the ball. You got the stop. You just lost 40 yards of field position. You might have won the game if you had that yardage back. So didn't understand that at all. Didn't make a lot of sense to me, but most things that happened tonight didn't make a lot of sense to me. The Chief 092. I like Deuce coach Manny Diaz and USF's Alex Golish, OC Brendan Marion from UNLV, and DC Tyler Santucci from Georgia Tech. I think you could pull Santucci, although I just wonder what his relationship would be like with Diaz if that's who we were bringing in. I should have probably mentioned Diaz instead of Lashley just because he's more attainable, but I think Lashley's a better coach. They had a big win in Clemson today with Cade on the sideline. I'm not anti Manny Diaz. I know we'll take some trolls on that from Canes fans, but he got a raw deal in Miami, and so I'm not anti Manny. And yeah, I think Alex Golish is pretty attainable. So, Chief, appreciate you for your support. Let me get Josh in here. Listen, I just have to do this real quick. Sorry to give you guys an ad, but listen, I'll do it in 10 seconds. Use the code DFNS to get a 100% match on the Sleeper app. You don't have to deposit anything. You literally get a free $20 entry this month. So appreciate Sleeper for their support. Now back to my ranting. Josh, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you.
Is this Homer?
It is.
What up, dog?
This format you got going on here.
Dude, I didn't want to have to do this, but we said we would do it.
Well, I'm using my phone here, and it's, the normal set here, but I can't get the thing to turn around. I can't figure this thing out, so I'm just going to talk.
You're good. You're not on camera anyway, so you're good.
The refs, I hate to talk about the refs because it shouldn't even be an issue. This Stanford team was so bad. We should have beat them with the refs missing so many calls. Why are they not calling those obvious pass interferences? Is this like coming down from the ACC to be like, hey, let's get rid of Mike. Let's ruin the Florida State because they ruined us with this lawsuit crap. I mean, there were so many calls of just off the offensive lineman jumped off sides. That James Williams hit could have went either way. I don't know. And then the team. I had so many things in my head, man. It's just so much went on tonight, and it's like Tommy hasn't played like he did against Alabama. Do we bring in Sperry? And I mean, this is just like DJ last year. They would never admit that DJ was hurt, but they played him all year. Tommy's hurt, obviously. When he finally tried to run tonight, you could tell he wasn't outrunning the defensive lineman.
Yeah.
So why not bring Sperry in?
Yeah, he doesn't have the same burst. You're right on the pass interferences, and I'm not making, I'm not going hard on the refs because they shouldn't have mattered. But there were at least 2 pass interferences on that one drive that were just terrible. The one the announcers kind of called where he was pulling, I think it was Squirrel's shoulder pad. I don't know, somebody. And then the one to McCoy where the guy is literally face guarding him. They were bad. And the hit on James Williams. I mean, I didn't think that was roughing the passer, but James hasn't been that close to the quarterback all year, so I'm sure he was excited to actually lay a hit on somebody. But yeah, I mean, they were bad, and then I think he was in at the end. But again, it shouldn't come down to that.
No, it definitely shouldn't come down to the refs. But where's the pylon cam? Where's the technology that we're supposed to have to make sure that these calls are made right? Because from the eye angle, it looked like Sawchuk was in. But who am I? I'm watching on TV. I got to get up and go to work in an hour and a half.
Get up, bro. You're going to bed at this point.
No, I can't even drink any bourbon while I'm watching this damn dumpster fire because I got to go to work in an hour and a half.
Yeah, this team ain't worth wasting bourbon on, bro. Just go drink some vodka or something if you got to drink.
I typically drink beer with this team.
I get too angry on bourbon.
yeah, you've heard me. So here's one thing I got. You brought up your coaches that you thought would be good. Why not Hartline? And you might know a lot more about why or why not as far as his availability, but seriousness as far as our biggest downfall was talent acquisition at high school level. And Hartline's one of the best recruiters in the country. Why not Hartline?
So I So I did a video. I won't rehash the whole video here, but I will give you my thoughts on him real quick, just because you came on and asked. I think the pro of him is obviously recruiting. And also having worked at Ohio State, I think he knows how a program should be run, right? Can he implement it? That's a much bigger question. Recruiting, he made in a major way checks that box. And so he's probably, I think I listed 10 candidates. He's probably the best recruiter on the list. And without a doubt, no, not probably. He is the best recruiter on the list. The biggest concern I would have for him is just he's never been a head coach. And so does that, I mean, every candidate you hire, from Jimbo to Franklin to Golish to Diaz to whoever, there is a certain amount of risk with it. And I think with Hartline, the risk is he's never been a head coach before. And can he do it? Can the elite recruiter come in and be a CEO type head coach? He's actually only been an offensive coordinator partly this year. And so that's my worry with him. I'm not saying it won't work. I'm not saying I wouldn't take him in a heartbeat over Mike Norvell, because at least you'd bring in good players. And if he could surround himself with good coordinators too, I think you might have something cooking. But I think that's probably the biggest worry I have is just that he's not done it, you know?
Our only issue, like I said, is recruiting. But we don't need, and I'd love, NIL has ruined this sport for me. I don't keep up with any of it like I used to. Transfer portal's ruined it for me. They don't seem to want to put in guidelines to keep, to even hell, make it like the NFL where there's a cap per position or per ranking or something. Paying these millions and millions, it's ridiculous. And the coaches' payments are ridiculous. And we don't need to get into another Kurt Signetti situation or a Stoop situation in Kentucky where they got to pay out whatever his 70 million or 60 whatever million it is in 60 days. We don't need to do that again, and that's the one of the big benefits of Heartline is you could probably get him for $3 or $4 million. I'm guessing. I could be completely wrong, but we don't need to do another Mike Norvell deal. We don't need to owe someone that much money just to not coach.
Yeah. I think you'd probably have to pay him like closer to 6 or 7, but still, you wouldn't have to guarantee him a crap ton of money for 10 years like you did with Mike. He'd have a relatively low buyout. I think you'd have to pay him a tad more than that, but still not astronomical numbers to get him. He would be a relatively cheap hire, I think.
What about again, I'm completely disconnected. Why can't we make these contracts incentive based? Because they already get incentives for making the ACC championship or winning the championship, going to the playoffs, all those different levels. So why not make the incentives higher and the actual guaranteed pay lower? Hell, like they do NFL athletes.
I think it's great in theory, but you're never going to get like another school's always going to, like, if your job offers you right now, even if it was, so say we back it way down from the millions, but if another company offered you $250,000, I mean, I don't know what you make right now, but right. If another company offered you $250,000 and said, you don't have to be successful, we're going to pay you this no matter what, wouldn't you take it? And so
it would have to be a culture shift. The whole damn NCAA would have to do it. So I guess it's not a thing.
Right. We can say it for Florida State, but like Bama's not going to do it, and Georgia's not going to do it, and Tennessee's not going to do it, and these programs at Texas is not going to do it. And so, yeah, I mean, we could say it sounds good, but like you'd need a lot of other programs to basically say, no, we're going to handicap ourselves, because it's just the arms race that it is, and other programs may not have the financial difficulties that we have right now. And we want to compete with those programs, though we can't even compete with Stanford. Well, I guess we did compete. I'll give them a little credit. They
barely.
Competed with Stanford.
So last thing, so I don't, hell, I'll talk to you till 4:30 till I go to work. But are you on board with Alfred's got to go with Norvell? So Alfred's not making a higher choice, because outside of football, hell, Alfred didn't even hire Norvell. But outside of the football, Alfred's done great with all of our other programs.
Yeah, I would be pretty surprised if Alfred got the axe, right?
Because a lot of people are pushing that.
He's hired extremely well. And so I understand that people are mad about the extension. I just want to tell you guys, and I know you can blame Alfred for it and say it was his fault, and ultimately he is the one that signed it. Every other AD in the country that would have been here after the snub and during the ACC lawsuits would have given Mike Norvell an extension after going 13-0. They would have also given Mike Norvell an extension to keep him from going to the team that kept us out of the playoff. So you can hate Alford for that. And ultimately it was his decision. He's the one that has to wear the egg on his face. But I'm just telling you, every other AD in the country would have done the same exact thing. Nobody else would have not done that because there was no reason to think, even if you suspected that 2024 wouldn't go as well as you thought it might, there was no reason to think that the team would fall off a cliff as hard as it did. And so I don't think Alford is perfect by any means or anything like that. That's not me saying that like, oh, he's been on the show, whatever. I don't care about that. He's hired very well in other sports. He's done a good job with fundraising. He's done a good job with this renovation and the football only facility and all the things he's done. Did a good job getting us through the ACC stuff. Extending if his greatest sin is now, I've got problems with the way that our administration does some of the other NIL stuff that we have talked about. But if his greatest sin is extending to Mike Norvell, again, I think every other AD in the country would have done the same thing. So I don't know. It's hard for me to say, oh, you deserve to be fired for that. When again, I think everybody else would have, no other AD in the country would have just said, oh yeah, the team that kept us all the playoff, you can go to them, So I mean, that's just kind of what Sexton does. That's kind of what these agents do. They push it along. So I don't know. I don't love some of the NIL stuff, but I mean, I don't know. But I mean, whatever it takes, man. Alfred's been great to us, but we got to have a change. And if he won't move on from Norvell, then maybe the board has to move on from him, and then they move on from everybody to get. We got to clean house. So if that includes him, so be it, man. Like I was here at Florida State before these guys, and I'll be here after all of them.
I've been a fan since '87. I graduated in 2004. I got two pretty predominant FSU tattoos. I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. So I was talking with actually a Gator friend about that. Like how do you stay? And she was like, dude, I was here before them, and I'll be here after. Yep. That was in like year two of Napier. So the race is, and what I'd like to know from the fans is, do you think who gets fired first, Napier or Norvell? Because they could both happen today.
Do you think one waits for the other? Just for imaging?
I don't think so. But it'd be funny. It'd be funny if Norvell. I don't think it's funny that Norvell gets fired. It would be funny if Norvell got fired first, just to watch the Florida fans melt down, because they will melt down if Napier's not gone like by 9 a.m. So anyway, appreciate you.
Napier won. He won the game.
Yeah, it don't matter. Jimbo got fired after winning like by 50. So
Jimbo got fired. Not like this though. He quit. He accepted the job
at A&M. They beat Mississippi State by like 50, and he got fired the next day.
Okay,
so,
yeah.
Napier only won by like 3 or something. So yeah, he's out, man. I think you're gonna fire him.
I just hate that Cristobal's Miami's the damn state champs and running the state, and we got to listen to that crap. I was looking at Knowles 247 today at their members, the board, whatever the hell they call it, and all everybody talking about was Miami. Like, why are everybody so obsessed with Miami? Let's not worry about Miami.
It was great to see them lose, though. At least they're miserable too. Maybe not as miserable as us, but they are miserable. But all right, Homer, I appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Thanks for letting me chat and talk to you. Kill some time before I got to not go to sleep for an hour.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. See you.
See you, man. Let me read a couple more of these and then we'll go. Oh, Pete sent one. I can't put the Pete's on the screen. Our software doesn't let us. Eric sent one. Appreciate you, Eric. And then Eric said, is this team better than last year's? That's a good question. I think this team would beat last year's team. But yeah, I don't know, man. Could you imagine tuning into that? Can we have a garnet and gold scrimmage between 24 and 25? Is that possible? God, that'd be gross. Then one more. Zach says, do you think we could get Dillingham from Arizona State, or maybe we could get Blake Baker from LSU? We need to coach with juice. I don't think we could get Dilly. I think he's coaching his dream job right now. And I being from there, I don't, I guess if you offer anybody enough money, everybody's got a price. But I don't think we could. Blake Baker, maybe. maybe you could get him if LSU loses a couple more games and they fire Brian Kelly. But I don't know that would be the coordinator route is interesting. And that, going back to the Heartline thing, the problem is he's been a coordinator, like a half a coordinator. He's not even fully calling plays for less than a year. So, man, that's really quick to turn around. And Ohio State's good, like really good. They're going to go deep into the playoffs. I don't know that you can wait. Well, I guess Rick did leave us. So, yeah, maybe you could steal a coordinator before. But, man, with some of these teams are going to go deep in the playoffs, trying to pull from them, I think that's easier said than done. So, all right, let's get Pete in here. Pete, how's it going?
Hey, brother, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Hey, how the kids?
They're good.
Yeah.
They're too young to understand how miserable we all are.
Oh, yeah. We got to make a run soon. We'll catch up. But, hey, quick question for you. You think that AD was pretty strategic in bringing in Gus in case this did happen? Interim?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, just something to. I mean, I think they could also hire Odell back at interim head coach if he wanted to do it, just to and be fine. But I mean, but Gus has the experience. What stinks about it is I don't even know if it matters. Like it's not like I feel like Gus is
no. He's just he'd be a placeholder. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see Gus as having a long-term thing, but he would be the most natural fit unless they just wanted to do something.
Yeah, I was just wondering if forward thinking, he's just saying to himself, we all have succession plans as in our real world jobs.
Sure,
but it just seems like he's lost the edge. He just doesn't have what we need, and it's not fair to the boosters, to the alum, to the fans,
the current players. I mean, we've been. I mean, you think about that, Pete. We have been, to some degree, the fans and the boosters and the supporters have been checked out for going back to last year and then through the last few weeks. But it feels like that has now leaked its way into the team. Yeah. Where they're not taking his messages seriously either. And to me, that's the biggest indictment. Because if you're Michael Alford, it doesn't really matter if you fire Mike Norvell in the morning or if you do it after the Florida game. It's not much difference. You don't get a head start on this. No. It's all about the same. But once you lose the players, that's where I think you got to have a different voice in there. And I mean, look at what UCLA has done after firing their coach. Look at what other team, I'm not saying that we're going to reel off 3 straight wins or anything crazy like that, but sometimes you just need a different voice in there. And I think his message and his voice, unfortunately, I like Mike. I think Norvell's message is unstale.
I think we'd all agree on that.
I don't think the players are responding to it anymore. No. They're just doing stupid year one type stuff.
Yeah, I was just thinking, what's the quick, immediate fix for AD and to show face to his boosters and all his fans. Okay, hey, look, we're going to make a quick change. We're going to hold people accountable. And by the way, we're going to, come up with a solution. In the interim, we have Gus, who's had experience in running a program.
Yeah. I don't hate the Gus move for interim. I don't want him long term. I don't want him next year.
No, I don't think you make him long term. I think you go out and shop it. And I like your thought on Manny because you get an alum, 2, you get a Mickey Andrews disciple, and you get him cheap.
Yeah,
So.
And I think what he's done at Duke has been pretty impressive. I know they lost today, but they were supposed to be a pretty bad team this year, and he's done a pretty good job back-to-back years with them.
You surround them with good, pieces that'll help them out.
Yeah,
that's it. So, all right, brother. Hey, good to see you. Hopefully, I get to see you and the kids here pretty soon at some point.
Yeah.
Hey, Italian, all the way.
Let's do it, man.
See you.
Appreciate you, Pete.
All right. See you. Bye.
Pete's the man. Pete comes into Tampa pretty often, and the last time he was here, well, I don't know if it was the last time he was here, but a time or two ago that he was here, he took us out to dinner. So, and we ate way too much Italian food, and I went home and fell sick. So, thanks, Pete, for the upset stomach. No, but we did have a good time. I'm just giving Pete a hard time. We got another one here. Let's read this. How about Cliff Kingsbury and his fast break offense? I mean, I don't hate it, but to me, I want to get away from the gimmicks. And I'm not saying that a fast break offense is a gimmick, but it's a little bit of a gimmick. After the Gus thing, after the Mike thing, I'm good with the gimmicks. Just get freaking good players in here and play football. And Fuzzy Balls, which is a great name. I'm not trying to crap on your idea here, but I don't hate it because, again, I believe everybody at this point is kind of an upgrade over Mike. But, man, I just get somebody who will freaking get good players in here and win games. Lance, I see you threw one up too. No comment or anything came with it. So let me flip back out of the super chats. And Lance, whatever your next one is, I'll try and read it. But I do want you to know I'm not blaming this or trying to get you to do more, but about 1 billion people are commenting right now. So it's hard to see them all. So Lance, if you just want to do like $1 or something like that, I'll read your next comment. I think Manny is a good recruiter. That might be the direction you go. You might try and pull him from Duke. You ain't got to worry about them going to the playoff. You ain't got to worry about any of that stuff. Holy cow, it's been 51 minutes and it's 3:11 in the morning. What are we doing here, guys? Apparently you're all as miserable as I am. So thanks to the 1,300 or so people that got on here at one point live, was I saw the most people. Yeah. I mean, James Franklin's got to be the call. You could pay him $4 million and Penn State's going to pay the other $4 million. You could pay him $2 million and put that money into a staff and put that money into NIL, and Penn State's going to pay the other $6 million. I feel like James Franklin's just such an obvious call. And I saw people saying, oh, well, you're never going to win a title with him. Man, I'm just trying to beat freaking Stanford. I'm not trying to win a title. I know what the expectation, the standard is. We're so far removed from the standard at Florida State that I just want to win against Stanford. And I just want to beat Pittsburgh. And I just want to go on the road and not go to double overtime with Virginia. That's what I want. If you guarantee me James Franklin comes in here and wins 9 or 10 games for the next decade, I'm good with it. I'll enjoy Saturdays again. I know I don't know why I'm yelling at you guys, but that's my thought. I don't love the Jimbo idea, but shoot, I think Jimbo come in here and win 8 games a year minimum. I know with a backup quarterback, he won 7 once. And I'm not doing the Jimbo thing. I'm not telling you that's who I want, but yeah, man, it's Florida State. I feel like my 3-year-old could coach us to that. Appreciate Nori for the $2. Nori, if you have any other comments, I'll try my best to see it and get you on here. Zach with another one. Zach's lighting us up tonight. If we're going to hire an alum, can we bring in Prime? He was a Seminole legend, can recruit amazing. So here's the thing with Prime. I just worry about his health. Also, Mike Norvell has out-recruited him every single cycle so far. I don't think Prime wants to recruit. I don't think he cares about it. If you could get Prime to really get out there and recruit, I think he'd be a good hire because he'd bring in talent. Sorry, I'm sweating out here because I forgot to bump the air down before I walked out. But I don't think he gives a damn about recruiting. And that's what's tough. Guys, I'm going to go 6 more minutes to make this not longer than an hour. But I just don't know if Prime would recruit. And I think with all his health stuff going on, I don't know if that's real feasible. Dude could literally have a health issue and not be able to finish at Colorado this year. And I mean, is that going to be long-term sustainable? You might be looking for a new coach in a year. Here's one from Corona 239. Corona, I'm going to take a sip. It's not Corona, unfortunately, but it is Diet Dr. Pepper. So you know what? They don't even sponsor anything. Everybody knows anybody at the Pepsi company. Have them hit us up because I drink about 4,000 of these a year on this show. So Corona, I'm up just waiting to hear that Norvell has been fired. So you could probably take like a 5-hour nap at least because they ain't going to announce nothing before they get back to Tallahassee. And it's a 5-hour flight at least. So you could probably at least take a 5-hour nap. Set your alarm for 8:15 Eastern time. Take a little bit of a snooze, Corona. Because it's going to be a long, you ain't going to get no news. It's like waiting for a hurricane to show up here in Florida. I mean, it's coming, but you don't know exactly when it's going to land. You're waiting for it. You ain't going doing nothing. You ain't going out to dinner the night before. Just take a little nap. It'll be good for you. We all should probably do that. We should all collectively go lay down, understand that we're dead. It's fine. And move on from that. Here's one. Can't blame the players. This is coaching and prepping. Yeah, agree. Mr. Verbal Assault. Agree completely. I thought the effort was good enough. I thought the defensive effort was just kind of okay at times, especially against a backup quarterback and running back. But yeah, they're underprepared. The focus is not there, and that's on the coaches for not having them ready for this game. And guess what? Let me just lean in real close here and tell you guys this. Let me scratch my head real quick. Even if you wanted to blame the players, which if you do, that's fine. You do what you want to cope with how bad this team is. Guess who brought all these players in? Like, even if you wanted to blame the players, which I don't blame the players much. I thought Tommy's effort tonight was phenomenal. Tommy literally put his body on the line. That first touchdown, the only touchdown you scored against Stanford was all because of Tommy's effort. And so, yeah, I'm not blaming the players, but even if you wanted to, just let's remember who brought these players in. And so, you know, when an employer at your company makes a bad hire and you're like, that guy sucks, that you got to work in the cubicle next to him, or he's on the route next to you, or he's on the truck next to you, and you're like, man, that guy's terrible. I understand being frustrated at that guy that's working next to you that's just not very good, but who hired him? Your boss hired him. So, yeah, even if you wanted to blame the players, it's still the coach's fault. Let me look through the rest of these real quick. I'm trying to do the super chats because I do appreciate the support. Base Durgeon. That might be something really obvious that I just can't pronounce because it's 3:17 in the morning and Florida State's got me doing a live video at this point. But we have to extend Norvell. We're so close to continuing. You can't recruit because they didn't have enough job security. Another 5 years should do it. So maybe a Miami fan trolling a little bit. Let me look. Yeah, I can't see what your little emoji is there on your thing, but we're inches away, man. I almost, you know what I almost did, guys? I just didn't. It would have taken a lot of effort. And, you know, I put forth the same effort that our staff put forward tonight. And so I didn't do it. But maybe I'll do it tomorrow just so you guys can continue to be pissed off. Hey, let me say this too. There's 1,000 people watching this live. And listen, I'm miserable right now up at 3 a.m. doing this. I don't care if you're a rival, if you're a hater, if you're a fan of the team. We are 81 subscribers away from 20,000. Like, can you guys just give me our 4th win of the year and just hit the subscribe button? I don't even care if you never watch another video for the rest of your life. It doesn't hurt you to subscribe. But there are 1,000+ people in here watching this, and I know about 70% of you are not subscribed. So do me a favor and just hit the button. All right. And then forget about it. You'll know. I hate to sound like Pate when I say that, but it really doesn't hurt you. Like, I'm subscribed to so much dumb crap for my kids that I don't even ever watch. They do. So hit the button and help us get over that number. But anyway, so what I was going to do, I'll leave this comment up here for you for a minute. What I was going to do is I was going to live react to Norvell's press conference, like whatever he was going to, like, let him say his opening statement and then pause it. And then, you know, but you know what? I thought I would cuss too much. I thought I would be too mean on it. And so I didn't do it. So I may still do that tomorrow whenever I wake up, hopefully to an alert from Pete Thamel. I'm turning Pete Thamel's notifications on. I'll have to do it from another account because he's got me blocked. That's another story for another day. But I thought about taking his press conference and responding to it, but I probably need to do that not live. That way I can bleep out all the bad words that I say. Because I know what that MFer is going to get up there and say. Oh, man, we're going to get it corrected. We're going to work on it. I'm frustrated too. Nobody's more frustrated than me. Buddy, I promise you there's people more frustrated than you. See, I can't even do it now. I know what the coach speak is going to be, and so I gotta police myself. So this is a good one, man. He just needs more job security. Extend him to 2035, Alfred. That's what we need to do. That's a great comment. Dude, he might be a Miami fan, but he still kind of made me chuckle a little bit. Chi-Town no, Chicago no. I'm just gonna say that. Glenn Schumann needs to be a higher elite recruiter and Kirby protege from the Saban tree. I don't hate this. I don't hate the Schumann idea. When you think about possible candidates, I think this is a good idea. I like this one. You know, you just never know what direction an AD is going to go. Like when we let go of Norvell, I'm again manifesting. Oh, we're at an hour. All right, I'll read through these comments and I'll go. But when we fired Taggart, like I didn't know Norvell was going to be the hire. Like that day that we fired Taggart, obviously it started to become more clear as we got closer and closer to it. But man, you never know what direction an AD is going to go. You also don't know, what are they going to negotiate the buyout down to? How much can they get Norvell to back up all the things he said about caring about this place and all this crap, that you say when you're the coach, but then when you rob somebody blind for $50 million and suck. But yeah, I don't hate the Schumann idea. You ever try the Makers pick I sent you? Also, how many recruits players we lose after Norvell's fire? Josh, it's been 12. I've been sober for 13 months and I'm done. I'm off of, I'm good to drink in like less than a month. It's less than a month away. And I've got it right here. I've got it right next to me. This is not why you guys tuned in, but I got it right. I got it right here. I got it ready to go. I'm less than a month away if this season doesn't get me there first. Also, how many recruits and players we lose after Norvell's fired? Recruits, probably most of the class. I don't know, 75% of the class. They'll keep some of them that are just like diehard Noles, but we'll get new guys as a new staff comes in. And then players, I don't know. With the new rule about you can't jump in the portal until after the new coach is hired, that'll give the new coach, based on who it is, some time with the players. It's going to be a rebuild. I don't care. There's guys I want to keep on this roster, but kids don't commit to programs. They commit to coaches. So, whatever, man, we got to restart. There's nobody on this roster there's guys I would not want to lose, but there's nobody that I'm going to just like flip out about if they decide to go elsewhere. They got to do what's best for them. And so does Florida State. And what's best for Florida State is to get rid of Mike Norvell. So, Nori, one game where our offense can't get it done. Where was the defense? Yeah, wasn't very good against a backup quarterback. You needed that's what I started with. I don't know how many people have been here from the very beginning. But I mean, that is what I started with. Dude, we got like 40 subscribers from me calling you guys out and asking you to do it. So now we're like 43 away. So listen, there's still like 900 people in here. I need 40 of you to hit the button and we'll get to 20,000 tonight. This morning, and I won't be so miserable going to bed. I'll enjoy that. Maybe I'll just stay on until you guys do it and then I'll hang up. But, yeah, you were bad in all three phases. All the penalties on special teams, jumping off sides, giving them an extra touchdown. You were bad on defense against the 100th ranked offense. You were bad on offense against the 106th ranked defense. You were just bad everywhere. And that's on the coaches. But you're right. Defense, again, that 94-yard drive. Sorry, I don't want to give them 2 extra yards because God knows they would have gotten that too. I almost wish that drive would have started on the 1, so we could have really seen them just go 99 yards on this Tony White defense. But yeah, they let you down. They were terrible, and that's all on the coaches. They were terrible in every facet of the game. Kyle, 850. I thought we'd be 3-4 at this point in the season, but my God, the wins and losses wrong. Figured wins against Kent State, FCS team, and Stanford had us losing the rest. You know what's crazy is I thought we would be, at this point, I truly believed we'd be 4-3 at the worst. I thought we'd lose to Bama, lose to Miami, and then at worst split with Pitt and Virginia. Thought we'd beat Stanford, thought we'd beat the 2 cupcakes, but I thought you could split a game. Virginia's coach went into this season on the hot seat. Like he was one of the 5 coaches in the ACC that you thought was on the hot seat. Him, Virginia Tech, NC State, FSU, and there was one more. Oh, Stanford, and Stanford's coach did get fired. So before the season even started, I thought we'd split those. But man, I mean, I'm still glad we won that Bama game. I'm not upset that we won the Bama game, but my gosh, if it didn't just completely derail what we were, it made the expectations ridiculous. And I almost wonder if it wouldn't have been better just to lose that game. I'm glad we won it. Bama shouldn't, I don't care how many wins Bama gets. Bama doesn't deserve to go to the playoffs. That's my bold take of the night. There's no chance that Bama team should be in the playoffs after losing to FSU. 19,961. So my last little call out got 4 subscribers. That's 36 less than the last one, but we are 39 away. If 39 of you can hit that button, then we can hit 20,000 a night. If you stay up another 30 minutes again, I'll call in and keep those subscribers going up to stall. The bourbon is controlling me at this point, though. Nori, I appreciate you. Thank you for calling in, too. No, I am completely zonked out of my mind and need to go to bed. So, we always try and give Tallahassee Ford a little bit of love. Just very quickly, if you're in the market for a new car, Tallahassee Ford will beat prices and they'll deliver the car to you anywhere you are. Most likely. If you're in Hawaii, I can't guarantee that one, but Tallahassee Ford will get you taken care of. All right, that's all I got for tonight. What I would ask you is on your way out to hit the subscribe button. If you're not logged in because you're on the browser, you're on the browser instead of get the words out of your mouth, idiot. Go to the app, Double Fries No Slaw, hit the subscribe button, take us up over 20,000 tonight. So when I wake up in a few hours to scroll Pete Thamel's feed, we can I can be a little happier that we hit the number. So, all right, we'll be back at some point today to talk about the game, to let Richie rant a little bit. But thanks for staying up with me for a little over an hour after Florida State drops to 3-4 with a bye week next week. They can't hurt us next week, boys. That is something I appreciate. So, love you guys.